Hi, everybody. We're back with the next installment of Champions of Eclypsia, a homebrew setting set for D&D 5e with my wonderful, amazing cast, some of us looking far more impeccable than others. Yeah, we had an interesting time last session. Here we are back again, and it's gonna be really cool and really interesting to see what happens. But before we get to that, we're going to go around the horn, let everybody introduce themselves. And I would like to personally say that if you missed out on Noir's coffee talk this morning with Katie Soros, it was hilarious. But starting off with that, Noir, how you doing? What's going on, bud?
Doing all right. Hey everybody, I'm Noir. Today I'll be playing Petra. Both me and Petra both go by Hive, and that's where the similarities end. I hope you all got to check out Morning Ritual this morning. We talked to Katie Osiris, who is just the most delightful being in the whole entire world. So you should go and follow her on all the things. But that's me.
All right. Next up, Ravanya. How are you doing on this fine Saturday afternoon, evening, you mysterious queen, you?
Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I am Ravenya, also known as Nikki or the Squishy Bear, if you follow me on the Twitters. I'm doing pretty dang good, and I cannot wait to see Rotwood Garrison burn.
That is an energy, and I hope. Well, you know what? We're just going to see what happens, because in this game, what they do affects the world as a whole. This is going to be interesting. All right. So we have someone who's just happy, and then we have somebody who's happy to burn. All right, cool. Next, coming up, Al, how are you doing today, bud?
Doing pretty good, Kurt. I'm Al. I will be playing Flint, the kind of happy-go-lucky Dragonborn Paladin. Both he and I use he/him pronouns, and similar to Ravanya, I'm also looking forward to this place burning, but probably for a slightly different reason.
I mean, that's a thing.
Or mechanical thing.
Yeah, totally. We'll go with that. Jay, how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing well. Thank you, everyone. Hi, I'm Jay, also Neopet3 on the socials. I am playing Voss Roth, our barbarian survival tracker. And he is probably the only one that wants to keep this fort intact. Maybe vitalize it, but keep it, because it's an important way station. But we'll see how this goes.
And rounding out our intrepid crew, last but not least, so committed, he's playing the game while on vacation. Joshua, how are you doing in the great northern areas?
I am doing fantastic. Vacation's amazing. If you can ever take one, do it. It's great. Super happy to be here. I will bring in Ainur, who is the optimistic light of the group. And by being optimistic, I mean he usually has his nose in a book and trying to compare reality versus what's written down. And they don't always jive. It's really weird that way. But I don't care about burning the place down. I want to bring light to everything. And if that means fire, that's fire. If it means, keeping everybody around, that, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out as we go.
Okay, so out of this group, we have 2 that are for keep the fort standing and 3 for burn it down. Okay, all right. Well, my name is Kurt, also known as Covenant, the Horrible Alchemist. You can find me at my name, literally, because I was unoriginal when I came up with it. On all the socials and over on my own Twitch channel, Covenant. But that's not why we're here. I'm not here to promote me right now. I'm here to tell this amazing story, and we're going to go into this amazing story. So last session, our group was kind of slapped together haphazardly, nobody really kind of knowing who each other really was, or do they? Some memories of the past, some new faces, all are cobbled together where they were given instruction as to what they were to do. They all have various reasons as for why they are part of this little squad, as it were. And as they left Whitebane, they encountered several different things along the way. Many of them leaving the walls for the first time, now out into the wilderness. They interacted as they would for such standoffish characters, all judging silently amongst each other. But they came to the first stop point of their journey, which was Outpost Rotwood. Rotwood sitting right outside the Black Forest. It was a waypoint to go to Falarin, where they are to complete their mission for the city of Whitebane. Upon getting to the outpost, they found the walls weren't manned. They found that everything was eerily quiet. Inside, the majority of the garrison that was there had been attacked and killed, save for one survivor, Captain Therius, who was doing the cowardly thing and hiding. Upon investigation and confronting Captain Therius, they encountered an entity, a being. Captain Therius proceeded to proclaim that this is what the druids had summoned so very long ago. This creature, this demigod, almost in its majesty and being, came through and looked around the outpost for our characters, who, smartly enough, distracted it, and caused it to run away. Through the course of their investigations, they found what were known as corpse flowers infesting the bodies. When all said and done, they decided to confront Captain Therius once more, exclaiming that he needed to abandon the post, return to Whitebane, and answer for his non-brave actions, we'll call it. But in that same time, he said that he wouldn't leave, that he must defend the outpost to the last man, and he is the last man at this outpost. At this point, the group appeared to be ready to take him by force, if necessary, back to Whitebane. And at that time, the corpses began to rise from around the compound. Their skin turned to bark, shards of wood jetting from their limbs, vines forming their now sinew of their body and filling the holes that were very much left in their various cadavers. The group is now turned around, ready to fight. And we're going to start today off with a little bit of spiciness. So I'm going to need everybody to roll for initiative.
Hell yeah.
And then give me those beautiful numbers.
13.
13.
We got a double 13, huh?
Yep.
All right. And Petra are at 13s. All right. Jay, what did you get?
17.
Ooh, big 17 for Jay. All right, Maud.
Rolled a nat 1. So that's a 4.
4. You know what? 4.
Hey, if there's a place to get a nat 1, it's initiative.
Initiative is the best place possible to get that. I 100% agree. And then Flint, what did you get?
6.
6. Wow. All right. This is not boding well for y'all today.
We'll be fine.
And last one is, there we go. So, all right. So, 6. All right. You guys see 6 of these bodies begin to rise from the ground and move around. You hear that same bellowing that the creature from earlier had let out when it was inside the compound. Only the bellowing is coming from beyond the walls. Doesn't sound louder, doesn't sound closer, but it does definitely sound like it's near. The creatures turn and slowly start to wander. As you begin to ready yourselves and ready your weapons, the subtle noises that are made from your armor, your weapons, chains attached to cinder blocks, what have you, draws their attention, and they instinctively look over at you all. Now, starting at the top, one of our blood blights looks and sizes up and sees you. Where would you like to be standing at this point in time? Because as it stands right now, you're in not necessarily the center of the courtyard, but you're just outside of the captain's quarters, and you're all kind of huddled in that little area right there, right? Because these are kind of slightly slower moving, this first round, I will allow you to get into position or ready anything of which you wish to ready. There are 7 of them.
Okay. Obviously, Flint's got his sword and shield out.
Okay.
Nor still has his bow out from distracting the larger monstrosity.
Okay. Rolf.
Rolf had his hand axe out in his hand at the time. He's kind of sitting at, as he's looking around, what is the closest entity? And since an undead is my favorite enemy, are these undead or are they something else?
Make me a quick nature check.
All right. That is going to be 12.
12. They will have undead properties.
Okay. All right.
Maud, is there anything you wish to do?
Maud has basically looked at the situation, and she is going to stay kind of in the back, but she has her crossbow up and ready.
All right. And Petra.
Petra will have his warhammer and shield in hand.
Okay. All right, then. The beings slowly shamble towards you, though they do not necessarily look like they're trying to flank for an advantage on you. They are just moving in your direction. With each footfall, it looks as if the foot almost sort of takes root, and then as it lifts up, the roots detach and then slam back down with the next footfall. Arms, on each one of them, one of their arms starts to grow slightly longer with these vine-like tendrils coming down in place of fingers. And the first one literally extends its hand out. Now, this first one is approximately 15 feet away from Rolf. And it makes its first attack as vines shoot from its fingertips to wrap around your various limbs and to around your waist. It makes its attack. Does a 17 hit?
Yes, it does.
All right. I need you to give me a strength. I need you to give me a strength save.
Okay.
DC 12, please.
Since I'm not raging yet, but a 22, how does that sound?
All right. So as these tendrils shoot out and they wrap around your limbs, you feel a slight pain as if something were puncturing your skin. And instinctively, you kind of like rip your arms back a little bit, snapping the vines. and you see a slight bit of blood where it looks like little thorns grew out of the tips of the vines and tapped into your skin slightly.
Okay.
You take 3 points of 3 points of piercing damage.
All righty.
All right. Next is you.
So Rolf, experiencing this, suddenly gets into looking at an Surrey is just suddenly getting angry. And you can tell that he starts talking at these creatures. And he's like 3 sentences worth of just small sentences, like something along the lines of, you are not supposed to be here. You can't be here, and you shall not be here. And each time he's saying it, he's yelling it, and the intensity increases. And at the end, he just yells in rage. And bonus action rage.
By all means.
And at which point he throws his axe at the one that strangled him and will then run towards the creature, pulling out a chain that's connected to a large stone that's on his belt. So first he throws his axe and he's going to throw an attack.
Okay.
Let's see. And that is going to be, all right. Does a 16 hit?
A 16 most definitely hits.
All right. Since I'm raging, that is going to be, max damage. So that is 11 points of damage.
All right. So you spring forward, you bring your axe down. It cleaves almost completely through this conglomeration of a cadaver and a plant. But almost as you're cleaving through it, it starts to repair itself slowly as you cut through this being. It is still noticeably hurt, but all it does is it lets out a almost similar bellowing noise. Perhaps a shriek of pain, perhaps calling the others. You're not quite sure at this very moment.
Okay. So as I rush up to it and have this strange looking flail. It's like I said, it's a chain, as if it looked like someone that you chained up to a wall that got ripped out of the wall. And that chunk of stone is what he's basically twirling. And I get into engaged range with it.
All right. And can you make another attack at this point or no?
Nope, I only get one attack. So I'm done.
Well, I couldn't remember where your reckless attack came into play.
That's at second level. So
gotcha.
So only first level. We're a little crunchy.
I know you're a little crunchy. You're a little crunchy.
So yeah, he's raging. He's angry. Right. He just gets right up into his face, and then he's going to grab the next round. He's going to grab the axe from it. So
okay, all right, cool beans. Next, the other blights, upon hearing this bellowing, start to move slightly faster. They're obviously limited to how fast they can move, but they do start to close the distance a little bit. This particular blight closes distance and squares to Petra. It goes and makes a haphazard slash attack towards Petra for a 16. Misses. Do you have any sort of reactionary thing that you wish to do or whatnot?
Ooh, let's see. Let me check my reactions. I do not.
All right. All right. So it goes and it swipes, and just in the nick of time, you raise your shield and it scrapes across your shield. Question: is your shield wooden or metal?
It is metal.
It is metal. All right.
Well, let me double check that. It just says shield. A shield is made from wood or metal, so it's my choice. So I'm going to say it's metal.
Okay, cool. All right. So it scrapes across, and you hear that sound of like wood, like literal, like old wooden timber almost hitting across metal, and you hear a couple of pops, like twigs snapping, and then we move on to the next blight that moves forward to flank on Rolf. Identifying the blights very quickly, identifying Rolf as a key danger. It makes its attack. Woof. And it's going to miss horribly. Horribly miss. All right. Next, a fourth blight moves forward, and its hand extends, jutting out. The same attack, similar, against Flint, as these vines shoot out from its hands towards our dragonborn paladin. And does a 19 hit, noble paladin?
Yes, it does.
All right, I need you to make me a strength save.
All right. Come on. That is a 10.
A 10. Okay. You are going to take 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And as you do, these vines, they wrap around your limbs and they wrap around your waist. You are, for effective purposes, grappled. At the start of your activation, you can make a strength check to try and break said grapple. DC will still be the same. Next, we have Einor.
Einor looks over at Flint being grappled and immediately says, Flint, you got this. Get out of there and get rid of that thing. Bardic Inspiration with the bonus action.
Okay.
And then I turn and I look at the one that's already hit Roth.
Mm-hmm.
And I start whispering and say, I've smelled compost that was better than you, and it needs to make a Wisdom 13 saving throw.
Wisdom?
Wisdom, yep.
All right, that is a 7.
All right.
So do your worst.
So 2 points of psychic damage, and then it has disadvantage on its next attack.
Okay. All right.
And that will be it. I will start to move towards the stairs, but stay within 60 yards of, or 60 feet of Roth.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Petra, you're up.
All right. So his eyes are going to start to go black. And as he lowers his shield, he's just going to look at the one that tried to hit him and mutter, the grave you've abandoned calls you home. And I am going to activate my necrotic. I'm going to cast Bane.
Oh.
So on him, the one that hit Roth, and another one.
Alrighty.
They have to make a charisma saving throw.
Okay. All right. So which you have the one that's in front of you, the one that's engaging with Ralph, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have one that is engaging with Flint. Is that going to be your third target?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
The one that's engaging with Flint.
Each one of them has to make a charisma saving throw, you said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So on the one engaging you, we got a 6. Actually, no, my bad. We got a 12.
That fails.
Fails. All right. The one engaging Rolf, that will fail as well. And then the one engaging Flint, that will fail as well. What is the effect of your particular spell?
All right. So anytime, whenever a target that fails the saving throw makes an attack or a saving throw, before the spell ends, the target must roll a d4 and subtract the number rolled from the attack or saving throw.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So sorry, we're getting some floods here. Sorry. All right. And for my bonus action, I would then like to activate my necrotic shroud. So just bones, wings made of bones kind of sprout from his back. And he is going to warn the party, it would behoove you not to look at me right now. And anyone within 30 feet of me, I believe, let me take a look, has to make a charisma saving throw or be frightened until the end of my next turn.
All right. So, does anybody look at him?
No, Flint is going to obviously close his eyes.
Okay.
Use a reaction. Here we go.
All right. Next, we have a blight that moves over to try and take a swing at Rolf. That will make contact with a 21.
Really quick, did he make his save to see if he was afraid of me? Because
Oh, nope, you're right.
I don't know that he can approach because I'm.
That is correct. You are good call. You are correct. No, he cannot approach because he would have definitely failed that. So the blights are starting to, because actually I need to make it for all of them. Really, that one fails. Yep.
And
all right.
3 of them have to get an additional negative D4 on their roll.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to give them their D4s right now. That one's going to make -2. That one's going to take a -1. And that one's going to take a -4. Okay, cool. All right, then. So I'm going to note this, that. Okay. All right. Flint, you are up, though your eyes are closed at the moment.
He's going to open them, obviously. Now, for the action, would it be a strength check? Would that take my action to do a strength check?
To attempt to break the vines, you're attempting to break a grapple, which I do believe is an action.
Okay. But he's obviously right in front of me. I'm going to do I'm gonna blow some fire in his face. I'm gonna use my breath weapon.
Okay.
So it needs a DC 12 Dex save.
Alrighty. All right. So that is a natural 20 on the die.
Crap.
But I am at -4, I believe, correct? Because of fear. All right. So I'm at a 16. Does that beat your...
That does. So
Okay.
it's 4 points of fire damage is what you would take.
4 points converted to 8 points of damage. As you see this, like, you just exhale this breath of fire that comes out, and it's not only does it catch on this creature's bark-like skin, but it almost feels like it's fed a little bit of energy due to his skin being made of wood.
And that's my turn.
All right. Maud.
Hurt, sweetie, sugar pops.
What are you doing?
I'm definitely doing something,
What are you
but
doing?
I'm wondering,
Yes.
distance question. Rolf has 2 of these things on him right now,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
How far did Rolf move from the cabin to get in range of these?
Approximately 15 feet, because he was ensnared by one of them with the range of that was 15. He broke it and then closed the distance.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take my max movement right now, which is 30 feet, and I'm going to kind of move at an angle to where I get these 2 monsters kind of in a line.
All right.
And, Rolf can probably see me out of his peripheral vision. And it's like, I always hated these woods. And yeah, she just brings her hands up and it's burning hands time.
Okay. Now, given the nature of what is going on, you will run the risk of possibly hitting Ralph with your burning hands.
And that is a sacrifice Maud is willing to make.
Yes. 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 All right. What is it?
They have a spell save DC, dexterity saving throw.
Okay. All right. So, Rolf, make that dex save, bud.
Yep. So as I see this coming, He is.
Oof.
He can't get out of the way with a 7.
Oh, that doesn't
Okay.
cut it because the 14 is the DC.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's getting sprayed with some damage.
Yep.
It's 12 points.
Ooh.
12 points. All right. So as you burn, as your hands ignite and flames shoot from them towards these creatures, you said it was 12 damage. The two that are engaging Ralph immediately burn and go up in cinder and ash, almost igniting. What's left of their flesh, what's left of their bodies, right, gives off almost a rose smell as it falls to the ground, half decayed, half removed, half of its body missing, and all of the bark and wood aspects of this creature are burned away. And that's 2 down. So that's 1 and 2. All right.
Mod
Moving.
does look over kind of in that way towards Rolf, who's probably a little singed. A little singed. It's like, you'll get better.
Right on. All right. Cool. All right. We are back up to the top with Rolf.
So Ralph just takes this fire damage from the side and
Yep.
just whips his head around. Mod, watch where you're throwing the flames. And what's the next closest one?
Well, so due to what Petra has done and the fear that it's invoking, the majority of them are keeping from where you are at. It's about another 15 feet. The rest of them are kind of almost like waiting at this edge of Petra's bubble.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I'm going to move just to the right of that bubble where I can get the one of them that's 15 feet, and just swing that flail and just come across with it. And as an anger that rages, you see, he was a little bit more hairy, so the muscles kind of popped, and the blood vessels were popping as he's getting raged, and he's growing a little bit more hair. And Petra, or excuse me, Ma just singed like a good section of that. And he runs over 15 feet, and he's going to hit this thing with his fail. And that is going to be a 24.
24. Yes, that 100% connects.
And that is going to be 11 points of damage as I swing towards it, just kind of swinging up, just crack it around to the side.
Okay. All right.
And I'm kind of drawing them in and just yelling and raging.
All right. So as you swing this chain and rock chunk, for lack of a better term, you see it connect with one of the Blight's, we'll say, fleshy legs. And you can hear the bone snap as the body as its leg kind of just bends out of words. Bend, not like it's supposed to. There we go. And your chain slightly wraps around it. And as you yank back, it's almost as if the chain acts as like a knife and sears and cuts the flesh off of the leg, right? But almost in the same instance as you do that, vines shoot out from the wound, replacing the removed leg. And its attention is squarely now focused, looking directly at you.
All righty.
Now it's Blight's turn. The Blight that is currently engaged with Petra goes to make a swing once again. And he is 100% going to miss. because he is. How long does Bane last for on them?
Bane is going to be up as long as I concentrate on it. So up to a minute.
Okay, cool. All right. So you're keeping Bane running?
Yep.
Okay, cool. It makes the swing miss yet again. Its claws rake to go. Petra raises their shield. Justin, raises their shield as if it's nothing. A second blight that is engaged with Flint. Flint, I need you to make a DC save for me, please.
Okay. Still strength or something else?
Yes, still strength.
Let's see, that is 17.
Okay.
I was going to use Bardic Inspiration. I don't know if I want to bring that just in case. So 21.
21. All right. All right. Its grapple breaks off of you, but not in such a way that it doesn't leave a few marks. As its tendrils kind of pull back, right? You can feel almost as if it took something of you with it. As it recoils its tendrils back on its one hand, you see, and like out of just a glimmer of your eye, your blood along its tendrils, only it doesn't drip off. It sucks up into the vine. And this dragon, this creature that was a little worse for wear, only a moment ago, you see it start to stitch itself back together, and it's starting to heal, and blush green is replacing old brown on the bark.
Okay.
Einor.
Einor sees the one that's eyeing Rolf and again starts to whisper, "You'll be consumed in flames soon enough." And it needs to make a wisdom 13, DC 13.
All right. That's an 18 on the die.
Okay, so it resists the little whispers in its head. And for a bonus action, I will throw. I'll go, Roth, lead the charge with Bardic Inspiration to Roth.
Okay. All right.
And I will
Rolf.
I will move forward a little bit more to stay within range of folks.
Okay, cool. Then okay, so next Petra, what's going on?
So the one in front of me just tried to hit me again. So I am going to hit it back and just tell it, the grave you left is inevitable. And swing. And that'll be a 18 to hit.
That nails it.
All right. And going to take wait, that can't be right. Okay, no, that's not right. All right. So it's going to take 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage. Okay.
And then I will. Ooh, that is a bonus action. I am going to cast Shield of Faith on myself after that.
Is Shield of Faith a concentration spell?
Oh, that's right. Never mind. Oh, balls. I forgot. How's Roth looking?
How is Rolf looking? On a scale of 1 to 30, what would you say?
15. That fight, he was doing really well until he got singed by his partner. Because he's resistant to most everything except fire spells and psychic damage.
Right?
Yeah.
He's just going to look at Roth and go, "You will not die due to impulsiveness." And he's going to glare at Maud and cast Healing Word. That's going to be 7 points of healing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Petra's a dick. I love Maud. I'm sorry.
Is Maud in range to hear that? If she was, she's not even going to look at him or react.
Yeah, he's definitely said it so that it could be heard.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
That's
Now.
my turn and all my
All
spell
right.
slots.
All right. One of the blights that is outside of the bubble turns and looks to Einor, and it literally slams its hand down into the ground in front of it, recognizing that it can't approach, but it's honed in on your vicious mockery and your encouraging words. And as you retreat to these stairs that are going up to the wall, you start to see vines shoot up out of the ground at your feet, wrapping you up and entangling you. I need you to give me a strength save, please.
Einor, as we may remember from last time, is not the strongest of this group.
Mm-hmm.
Does an 8 happen to make it?
No, an 8 does not make it. Einor, you find yourself as your legs are slowly and, well, I shouldn't say slowly, rather quickly enveloped in these barbed vines that shoot up from the ground at your feet, entwining onto your legs. I need you to take 6 points of piercing damage, and you are grappled.
Okay. Next, Flint.
Right. As soon as Flint hears Petra speak, he's like, impulsiveness, got it. And so he's going to use a bonus action to cast Searing Smite, and he's going to attack the blight in front of him.
All righty.
That is a 16 to hit.
16 will hit.
All right. And then, because I already used the one spell slot to cast bonus action Searing Smite too, could I use the other one to do regular Divine Smite?
You're talking for your Paladin abilities, correct?
Yes.
I believe you can only use one per active, like per turn, because each one of them is an action.
Okay. All right, so we'll do. All right, that is 15 points of magical slashing damage and 1 point of fire damage.
All right. As you bring your sword down upon this creature, you cut through and notice that, like, as you cut through, it doesn't heal. You literally cut this creature in twain as it falls to the ground, motionless, dead.
All right. He's like, thanks, Mom. And he's going to run over to Einor to like help him out.
Okay.
That's his turn.
All right. Maud.
Let's see. I think we are going to. I think we're in range. I'm in range of 120 feet of Einor, am I?
Yeah.
Now everybody's sweating. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
No, it's
Everybody's sweating now. Like, yeah.
No, she is going to cast Firebolt at the monster that's wrapping him.
Okay, so how this is working, just as an FYI, the monster is actually not in the direction of Einor. It is outside of Petra's fear bubble.
Okay.
It shot its hand down into the ground, and it kind of had like a tremors kind of thing, where the roots went through the ground and came up and snatched around his legs.
If I need to move, I'm going to move to be able
You
to...
don't need to move, but you don't necessarily need to face Einor and Firebolt poor Einor, because he may not survive that.
I'm not firebolting poor Einor.
Okay.
But Does a does a 23 hit?
Yeah. Yeah, that hits.
Sweet.
Is that a critical?
No.
Okay.
Critical would have been a 26.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Okay. It's being weird today. I get a 1d10 on this damage, and I rolled a 1.
All right. So you go through and you firebolt at this creature, and it hits and it starts to burn a little bit, but it doesn't quite catch. It's not like a raging fire. It's more like a smoldering fire, you know. So it just kind of singes and embers a little bit. The creature does recoil in a slight bit of pain, but past that, it's still very intent on what it's doing.
That's just what we call karma.
Yeah. Wild magic. It's amazing. Rolf.
All right. So I have one in front of me. The one that put his hand into the ground that its vines captured Ainor. How far away is that into that blight?
From you?
Yeah.
10 feet.
10 feet? Ooh. So I would have to move to get to him. All right. Oh yeah, we're doing it. So looking back and seeing what this creature did, Rolf is running up to that creature, which I know I might be taking an attack of opportunity from the one that's in it next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to grab the arms out from the ground and rip them out of the ground and just take this guy and lift him up to break that grab using all of his strength.
Okay. You're going to make an unarmed attack.
Okay.
To grab him.
Any athletics or just it's an attack, right?
It's an. I mean, if you were, because you're very much trying to. The intent is not for yourself, but more to deal with this creature. Yes.
Okay. All righty. So that is going to be an 11.
All right. You go up and you go to grapple around this particular creature.
Oh, wait a minute. I have instant bardic inspiration.
You do. You do.
So
Are you going to use it?
Yes. So what die do I roll on that one?
A D4.
Yeah.
All right. We're doing that D4. And that is 4 more.
D6.
So
it's a D6.
Oh, it's a
my bad.
D6.
It's a D6.
All right. So that's going to be 5. So it's going to be a 16.
Okay. All right. So I need you to make me a dex save.
A dexterity saving throw. All right. That is going to be a 12.
Okay. All right. As you go grapple around this thing, you notice, because you're trying to grapple it from behind and suplex this thing, its back kind of shoots out with a bunch of thorns, but you kind of pay it no mind and approach in just such a way to crush said thorns and not necessarily take any damage from it.
So yeah, I was more kind of grabbing where it's going into the ground to break that completely apart and rip that out and use him as a battering ram next round.
You're going to rip. Okay, you're going to rip his arm.
So ripping his arm out from the ground. So basically breaking that. That was the goal. Was ripping his arms out, and breaking that. Those vines that were on Ainor.
Okay. All right. Cool. Ainor, I need you then to make a strength save.
12. Getting stronger.
Just enough. You feel as you see your compatriot come grab this creature's arm and yank You feel a slight whoa type tug coming from beneath you, but as you see him break the vines, this thing lets out this weird guttural bellowing, followed by a series of almost click type noises. And it turns to like face Rolf, and with its free hand clenches up its fist like it's fixing to strike. Einor, you are no longer grappled.
Thanks, Rolf.
You're kind of like stuck a little bit because you got to get this stuff off of you, but you're not, you know what I'm saying? The blight that is in front of Petra, looking very worse for wear, as it's fallen to the ground, split in twain. You start to see the tendrils or the vines start to creep out of the body just a little bit, slowly moving towards you. What do you do, Petra?
I'm gonna take another whack at this thing if I can.
Okay.
So let's get into it. Warhammer swing. Oh, that's a nat one. Well, yeah, he whiffed it real hard.
All right, so you miss.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come back to that.
Oh, I don't love that.
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
All right. Einor, what would you like to do?
Well, Einor was about to set these things on fire, but since he's not grappled anymore, he looks out. Roth has 2 on him. Petra has 1. Are there just those 3? And Flint has
Petra
1, right?
kind of has half of 1 on him at this point. Flint is making his way towards you. Rolf is grappling with one of them, and Maud is kind of in a standoffish position looking towards the direction of Rolf. There are still 2, or correction, there's still 2 of them that are at the edge of Petra's fear bubble.
The one that's at the edge of the fear bubble that has not been attacked at all yet.
Yes. Make a quick perception check.
Okay.
I don't like the sound of that.
That would be a 6. Oh, these things are undead though, right?
Mm-hmm.
9. Not much better. Okay.
Okay. You just happen to notice that it's kind of lingering. It's not really moving in a position to attack, but it does seem to just be lingering.
Can I do any sort of knowledge check to see what sort of tactics it's trying to apply?
That would use your action.
I'll accept that.
Okay.
13.
13. You gather that it seems to be more or less studying how you are all moving and attacking. It seems to be unfazed by its fellow blood blights being attacked and destroyed.
I shout and point and say, that one's studying us. The rest are decoys. And I will move forward and Flint, I've got your back. And I put the bow back over. And as I'm moving, you see that I'm starting to draw sword and dagger.
All right. Flint.
Okay. Hearing Einor, he Am I able to get to the one that is studying us? Be able to get within 30 feet of him?
He's kind of in the opposite direction of the direction you were traveling.
Okay.
You kind of started to go towards Einor. Now Einor has shouted this out. So yes, you could go back, but he's going to be more at the 40 foot. So you wouldn't necessarily be able to close completely at that completely to him.
I'll still move the 30 feet. And let's keep this little fire going. So I'm gonna throw another breath weapon in. So I need another DC 12 dexterity for saving throw.
All right, what's the range of your? Excuse me. What's the range of your breath weapon?
30 feet by 5. 30 feet length by 5 feet.
And it's a cone. Yes.
Looks like it's. I would say it's a straight line because the width is 5 feet.
Okay. All right. Cool beans. All right then.
Yeah.
All right, and this is against we'll say our studier.
Yeah. This is against the intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That is an 18 on the die.
Okay. So again, 4 on my die, so 2, but if it's vulnerable, 4. So
4. All right.
Yeah.
As you breathe out this fire, right, and it kind of sort of catches onto it, it lets out this weird shriek, a noise you haven't heard any of these other ones make before. It almost sounds slightly human as it reaches over and pats out the fire and takes a couple of steps back at your approach.
Okay. Bonus action, I'm going to cast Searing Smite. Again, I don't know if theatrics, it's like if like it, my sword is now on fire, or if it's just like a flicker of flame. But like bonus action, casting Searing Flame, but then it's like kind of a way to intimidate it, if that's the case,
Okay. All right. So how do you want it to look? This is your way. You get to decide what this is going to look like.
I would say similar to my breath weapon. So similar to how I shot it too, but then it's like.
But do you want it to be like your sword ignites on fire, or do you want it to be like, as in like something else kind of ignites or whatnot?
Let's go with the sword. Like, but
okay,
it makes it on the outside of the edge of the blade as opposed to like engulfing entirely in flames. So,
okay, all right, cool, all right. Circling back around. Petra.
God damn it.
I need you to make a dexterity save.
Immediately, god damn it. All right, let's do it. All right, I'm rolling physical dice from here on out. I rolled a 10.
Okay. All right.
I don't love this.
No. All right. You go and you had swung with your hammer and you had missed, and it hit a kind of soft chunk of the earth, right? And so your hammer's kind of somewhat stuck, and you're kind of like overextended just a little bit, and which kind of somewhat pulls you and causes you to kind of stumble forward slightly. Does a 19 hit?
Unfortunately. But
all right.
Yeah, god dang it.
All right. For 9 points of slashing damage.
My body, it hurts.
As you feel a sword strike rake across your back while you are slightly leaned forward, you look over your shoulder and you see Captain Therius. Tendrils and vines have worked their way up his leg and now look like they're shooting from behind his head into the side of his face. You cannot tell if he is possessed, if his actions are his own, or if he has in fact become one of these creatures.
Might I roll an insight check?
Yeah, we'll let you get an insight check on that.
I was gonna say if it helps, I have expertise in it. Oh, and I'm mad apparently. 22.
You notice that these vines are going down into the ground. Almost like some sort of a botanical umbilical cord is tying him to the ground. Maud.
That's interesting. I am still going on this firebolt kick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
What are you
still trying-
firebolting?
Still trying to help Rolf and Ainor with those two ghosty goos there. So I think I will go to the one that is trying to punch Rolf in the face.
Okay.
That is a 25 to hit.
That will hit.
All right. And that's 6 damage.
All right, cool. And this is Firebolt again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So the one that is trying to deal with Rolf ignites into flames, and ashes and cinders begin to burn on him, or it rather, as it slowly falls to the ground. And then we're back to Rolf.
Ralph yells at, "Thank you!" And how many more? So, how many? Is there still one engaged with me, or do I have to move?
You are not currently engaged with anyone. There is the one there. The only thing that is left at this point is there's the one that's outside of Petra's fear bubble. Right.
Got it.
And now Captain Therius fighting Petra.
He's going to charge the one that's outside the fear bubble.
Okay.
And attack it.
Okay.
With a big old flail that's coming or swinging it. That is a 17.
That will hit.
All righty. And that is going to be, that is only 7 points of damage.
You hit it. It hits. You hear the sound of bone and bark cracking and breaking, right? And then it just kind of turns its head to look at you.
And I'm like, come on.
All right. Next would be Ainor.
Petra looks, I'll say, bloodied, below half.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 15, I would say I'm about a 6.
Okay.
We have sliding scales here for how we can figure out how good someone's feeling. You know, I mean, it's just how we work. Yeah.
I continue charging with sword and dagger now completely pulled, and shout back with healing word, which is only has verbal components. Shout back at Petra, keep your head up. It's not your turn in the grave or something. And 6 hit points back to you.
Does he actually throw the or something?
Or something? Yes, yeah, absolutely.
And how many points did you give him?
6.
6. It's 8 now for the or something.
Petra's gonna look back at you and go, appreciate it.
And with this being the second round of movement, am I able to make it to the one that's studying us in melee?
Yes.
Okay. I will first attack with the sword.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a 21. I
Okay.
believe. Yep. Where'd my D8 go? There we go. That'll be 8 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And I can't attack with the dagger because I've used Healing Word. So I am done and in melee with this thing.
All right. Sweet. Petra,
Yes.
what do you do?
Like I imagine he's like pulling the sword out of him, and that's when the healing closes the wound. And he's gonna look at the captain and say, well, this is far better an excuse than anything I could have made up. And just go to attack him.
All right.
We are going to hit this guy right in his noggin. That's much better. I wish I rolled one better, but that's going to be a 24 to hit.
24 does hit.
Okie dokie. And he's going to take 9, 10, 11, 12 points of damage.
12 points. Okay. What type is it? Is it bludgeoning?
It is 9 points of bludgeoning, 3 points necrotic.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. You swing your hammer and you make contact with him, right?
Mhm.
And you hit him, we'll say right in the ribs. And you can hear the snapping of bone. And as you pull your hammer back to ready for another strike, you notice that what should be the caved in side of his bones pops back out and resets itself.
Interesting.
With that, you hear a very deep, guttural, "Leave my woods."
Is Petra able to respond?
Yeah.
I'm inclined to, but I would know more about who you are.
It just like gives like this almost blank stare, and its eyes start to glow with a slight bit of yellow. Maud, or correction, Flint.
Okay. So there's still the one studying us that was kind of backing up that Einar hit. Okay. So we'll make his movement and he will attack with the sword. That is a 24 to hit.
Y'all.
All right. That is that is 5 no. It is 10 points of magical slashing plus 5 points of fire from the searing smite.
Okay. All right. Tell me, in those oh so famous words, how do you want to do this?
Okay, as you know, seeing Einar make a strike to Flint takes his 10-foot movement and very shonen style anime as his eyes kind of go big for a moment and he brings down the sword with the and then makes a kind of a trunk style like slicing through.
Okay.
And then just kind of finishes with not a kind of a hunched over a little bit too. And as the foe drops to the ground.
All right. This is the part where I would normally throw in an explosion that Flint doesn't look at, but we're not going to do that for this one. Just throwing that out there. As it falls to the ground, it immediately begins to decay as if like wood rot set in very, very, very quickly. Petra.
Yep.
I am the guardian of these woods. That's all that it says. However, I need you to make a perception check.
Well, nope. Why did I do that? Oh, whatever. 23.
You notice sticking out of his belt is a scroll.
I'm gonna point to it and go, "May I?"
It literally raises the sword arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leave my woods. And at that, Maud, what would you like to do?
So I see that everything's down except for this entitled, privileged garrison keeper is trying to attack Petra.
You do see this, you know what? Patent pending. Botanical umbilical cord emanating from the back of the captain's head. You can almost trace it into the darkness above the wall.
Okay, that's fun. And this is going to be funny. I'm going to shoot at the umbilical cord.
Okay.
All right. And we're going Firebolt. Firebolt will never go away from Maud.
Okay.
$24?
I will say that will hit.
9 points of damage. Fiery, fiery, fiery.
All right. You do 9 points of damage targeting it, and you see it begin to singe. Petra, in front of you, the captain lets out a very, very familiar bellow and bark as its head turns and looks at Maud. Maud, I need you to make a perception check, please, and thank you. Matter of fact, all of you need to make a perception check.
$24, and I was gonna ask, if I see this thing on fire, can I attempt to swipe the scroll?
Yes.
I'll use up my reaction for it or something.
Okay,
He's
you can
just
use up
gonna,
your
like,
reaction to try and make me a quick sleight of hand.
Yeet! Let's see. Here we go. A 15.
Good enough. You snatch it out of his belt loop real quick. As you all look over, as this cord of vine, leaf, and ivory extends into the darkness, you see these hands bring down and look, and a head, legs, yellow eyes, hooded by fur, connected. It is the creature of which the druids summoned. Leave my woods. You hear it say in tandem with the captain's controlled body and it emanating from this creature.
Sorry, but we kind of need to get through your woods. I don't think we actually want to hurt you, but we need passage through.
It rears its head up, and the human body that makes its head comes up with it, and over the top of the wall, one of its elongated hooves sets down. Leave is all that it says.
Maybe he's right, guys. We should go.
Go where?
This was just a stopover for us.
Yeah.
We mean you no harm. We will take up our things and leave. I know that you are here to protect and you're doing what you're supposed to do. Allow us to do what we need to do, and we'll be out of your way.
It like turns and looks at Ainur. Ainur, inside your head, almost, you hear as if 1,000 whispers at once were speaking. We summoned the beast. We did not mean to summon the beast. We thought we brought good, but we brought hell with it. Do not trust the beast. Leave the beast. Do not stay within its grasp or its vision. Do not look at it. Do not trust it. Do not believe it. It consumed us all.
And Ainur looks at everybody and says, we'll be leaving now.
Okay.
And I sheath the sword and the dagger and start heading to the horses, almost as if paying no mind to the beast being there.
Flint's gonna follow Samine.
Roth is breathing heavy right now and very contemplating this about attacking or not. You, Ainur. What? Why?
That is a conversation not to be had here. Let's make our way out.
I trust Ainur on this one, guys. We should go.
There's many voices of knowledge that we can discuss on our way out.
Understood. And Roth will go jump on his horse.
Can I attempt a nature check before I leave?
Sure can.
That is a 16.
What are you trying to ascertain?
Is this a natural entity or is it a corrupted natural entity?
It is most definitely a corrupted entity. Through your access to the divine, it gives that feeling of the divine, but it has been somehow tainted.
He's going to make a note to see if there's a way to purify it when there's downtime. But for the moment, he's just going to put his shield up, put his hammer away, and follow along and kind of glance at this scroll.
All right. The scroll reads reconnaissance report of Forlorn. Lost Elven City of the Everlight.
Since Rolf seems to be taking point, Petra is just going to wordlessly shove the scroll in his chest. Just kind of follow along.
Now, what do you guys were dropping from initiative unless any of you try to make an attack towards this creature? Okay.
Well, tempting that might be, Rolf is starting to calm down and comes out of rage.
Okay.
And then we'll, yep.
All right. As you go to leave once more into the darkness that is beyond the walls of the outpost, that overwhelming sense of danger seeps back into your skin and your senses. And as you pull the door closed to the outpost, all of the sunstones within slowly dim, and the ambient light above dims. And the last thing that you hear before the gate closes is the visceral sound of flesh and bone being rendered, gnawing, chewing, and wet sounds. Outside, you see your horses are still there. Granted, you are now short two members of the two members of the supply convoy, but you do still have the wagon and the two-wheel wagon, which is full of basic supplies, foodstuffs, things along those nature, and it is being drawn by two horses. What would you like to do next?
Roth basically is like, who knows how to take the wagon?
I'm just gonna completely ignore that bit and just go straight to the horses. Just he's very stoic for the most part, but as soon as he gets to the horses, he's like, "Well, you're a sweet beast, aren't you?" And I'd like
is he trying to get his zen back? Is that what's happening right now? He's just like, I don't know what the fuck I just saw, but I didn't like it.
I'd like to roll an animal handling to see if I can get on with these horses.
I mean, you sure can.
Whoop. That's a total. Is that a 5 or a 3? That's a 15. 18 total.
Your horse thinks you are the greatest thing since apples.
And I think he's the greatest thing since apples. Oh my god. This is my horse, and I'll kill you all for it.
Rolf, do you look at the orders?
Yeah.
Inside is a reconnaissance report from approximately 3 days ago. It basically says that the city is for the most part vagrant, minus small animals that have made it its home. Though no entities or anomalies have been truly detected and or seen, the city does have an overwhelming presence, as if no matter where you go and what you do, you're being watched. Though after 2 days of residing within the city, the scouts could not find hide nor hair of any physical being that existed within the city. It is expressed, it is Captain Therius's belief that you should approach with extreme caution. The building in which you are looking for resides off of the Merchants Square. It shouldn't be too hard to spot, as it has a dead sunstone still hovering in the center of Merchant Square. From there, you can make your way to the Grand Library, the head cartographer's office, to seek the map which you are after. We did not enter the Grand Library, as well, upon nearing it, things were heard. And as it was only a 2-man reconnaissance, they left post haste. Beware the black wood. Something in here is moving. Something is angry. End of report.
Okay. As I'm reading that, and since no one really took or responded to the, can anyone do the wagon? Kind of looking again to see if anyone can do the wagon.
Yeah.
He just basically ties his horse to the back of the wagon, gets on, and he's going to take the wagon.
Okay. So, what would you guys like to do at this particular point in time?
I feel like I owe an explanation as we're heading out. We need to rest, but that thing was summoned by the druids, which we discussed before, but the druids, their voices, they spoke to me in a way that I am used to making others hear voices, usually not in a pleasant way. And they summoned this, it devoured them, it devoured their souls, and it seems like they're trapped within it somehow. But it is corrupted and it needs to be destroyed. But I don't know that we have the force to purge it ourselves, to slay it ourselves. But it is a problem.
Something for the list later. We're not strong enough right now, and we're too badly injured.
Great.
And Einor, as he kind of shared that, he looks over and says, Maud, does that run in your bloodline? I thought the spells, the sorcery, is that what you bring? Is your family all casters? Is your family all casters? Are they sorcerers, bards, wizards?
Lie to him.
There's some inklings, some rumors in our heritage, but my father was a stonemason and my mother was a seamstress. So there is some things.
You just need to be a little bit more accurate with your spells, as he's kind of looking at his singed arm.
I mean, we made it out okay. I mean,
You left us for dead. Why do I care?
There's definitely this look over at Rolf. Sorry.
Flake kind of glares at Rolf too, and he's like, "Look, she helped out. You know, she was able to take down two at once."
Agreed. Her actions were accurate and impressive. This is a little bit careless, but I'm still kicking. Chalk it up as a win.
I knew the owlbear could take it.
And he kind of shoots a look at you for a second as that name gets thrown out. And he's like,
And she's
just
going and getting up on her horse. She's like turned the back. She's done the walk with saying that. And
Oblivion, Flint's gonna kind of just be oblivious to that too. He's gonna use lay on hands to heal himself for 6 hit points.
Okay.
I'll shout at Roth, or I'll just look over and go, yeah, but you got better, didn't you? And with a healing word of 7 hit points back.
awesome. He's kind of looking at his wounds, kind of that burnt, kind of healing it a little bit. He's like, and it gives you that nod of appreciation. Just kind of like, true. Yeah, let's get going.
Yeah.
but where are we going? We were going through there.
To Fearland was our next point, or Fearnand. Einor will pronounce it correctly. The player cannot.
To Farendell.
Ferndale.
And we haven't rested, and it's nighttime, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're gonna need to make some.
It is this world's version of nighttime. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna need to camp soon.
Okay. It's a good idea.
When was the captain taken?
Hmm?
The captain that we spoke to, the one that stabbed me. When was he taken?
While we were distracted, if that's what you mean.
Anyone else find that interesting?
It's almost like it was done on purpose.
Flint, yeah.
He wasn't dead like the others.
And then Flint's going to approach Petra too. After hearing you were stabbed, he's like, "I don't have much, but I can heal for a little bit."
I'm fine.
Okay.
You see that there's still just like the slightest side of a scar, and he just wipes his finger on it, and there is just a streak of black necrotic energy that closes it. Because I was only down 1 hit point, so I could spare that. And he just goes, "When was the captain taken?"
Don't know.
Perhaps most likely whenever we discovered that the creature that was watching us and we turned our focus on it. I would wager that that is when the captain was taken.
So that means that these woods have the ability to corrupt without the subject being dead.
Could he have been that way the whole time?
Possible.
I have no way of knowing.
Yeah.
If we are to make camp, I would recommend that we do it far and away from this place.
Agreed.
We could also push through to the night.
Yeah.
No.
So here's a quick question, GM. Roth has been out here before.
Correct.
Using his survival knowledge and area, would he remember a good camping or a good spot that's defendable that would be worth stopping with for this group for the night?
So make a history check for me.
All right. We're going to list physical dice because we're going to see how this goes. Yeah, that did not go well at all because that is a nat 1 for a total of 2. Wow.
Is your favored forest by chance?
No, it's a favorite enemy.
Perhaps too much tavern ale had clouded many of your memories, or perhaps there are things that have transpired in this wood that you've intentionally repressed. But you cannot think of a place inside the Black Wood that would grant safe harbor for you to rest for the evening.
So
now you are along the edge of the Black Wood, and you can, looking from the reconnaissance report and your knowledge of the area, add an additional day to the travel to reach the ruins if you take the way of the plains.
how long would it take to get out of the woods to make camp?
An hour. But you have been given a true warning
that the plant that you'll be so player wise, help me out. If the plains are not suitable for camping for the evening,
it's more one of those, the lesser of two evils. Out on the plains, you have to worry about things like wolves, whereas in the woods, you have to worry about a multitude of things. So it's a matter of, also, there's no place to hide out on the plains. There's very few patches of trees and things along those lines for you to really kind of, have natural shelter for.
Okay. And it would take another day, which would push on to get to the city.
Correct.
All right. Group.
Yes.
Your input. We have two options. We need to get out of the forest. That's a given. Should take us about an hour to get out. Camping wise, do we stay on the plains or do we push forward another day, getting tired potentially and making our way to the city? If we camp on the plains, we will be out in the open. What would your preference be? I'm taking input. Planes with possible disruption or push through?
Can I make can I use my natural explorer of forest to actually see if there is a spot as we're venturing, reading through the books of other people traveling through, just trying to combine that knowledge to see if there's a spot that might be safe and defensible long enough to get rest?
I would say you can. However, in this particular instance, you're at disadvantage because you have never yourself been in these woods. And on top of that, you're working off of information that is several hundred years old.
So that takes me from advantage to a normal roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled a 14. So that brings me up to 21.
Okay. All right, then. You remember a tale from your books of an old inn called the Wayward Traveler that used to reside along this road. Whether or not it's still there, you're unsure, but it is shelter. It is in the wood. So it wouldn't necessarily add any more time to your travel, but you would be cutting into the black wood.
I bring that up as an option and say, at least it's four walls, even if it's ruins, it's four walls that we could do something with.
And it's in the woods still, which we're supposed to be out of.
We
There
are.
could also be a chance that we run into those things again.
If there are bodies there, especially.
And we were warned. I gather from this thing, it doesn't have a 3-strike policy.
It doesn't, and we can't trust it. That is something that the druids, that the voices emphasized, is not to trust it. So,
No.
if I
sacrifice, it'll leave you alone.
If I understand what Maud is saying, I think we should probably take to the plains, but that is an option if we wish to stay in the woods. But my vote is to go to the plains.
I think we could go to the plains too. I mean, it's easy. It'd be easier to fight when we're not tired than it is to fight when we're, exhausted, and that there could be something right that we get to when we get to that city. So I vote for the plains as well.
Petra.
Petra's just watching all of them and then nods. If we go to the plains, we'll be exposed. However, we'll be exposed to natural threats. I can beat a wolf to death, and I'm pretty sure the rest of you can fend off against any sort of wildlife. We go to the woods. We potentially come across the Guardian. Even at full strength, I'm not certain we live. This doesn't seem like much of a choice to me.
Maud.
Rolf?
All right. Plains. We'll try to find at least a location that's better.
All right.
And make our way.
Making our way. So you guys exit the wood. You leave from the outpost, backtracking a small degree to go out onto the plains. after riding for several hours, you find yourself tired, exhausted, and you find what appears to be a small thicket of woods, just a handful of trees that happen to have sprouted up. A good place to make something of a camp. You bring the cart up into this small area, tie off the horses, and begin to make camp. Do you light a fire?
I think we should. It would keep, it would alert for the presence, but it would also keep potentially keep wolves and other stuff away.
I am going to grab one of my crossbows and cast light on the arrowhead and fire it. I'm gonna fire it about 150 feet away from where we are, so that there are 2 light sources should anything be interested.
Okay. All
It's
right.
gonna last for the hour, and he'll do that on the hour every hour.
Now, if you do that every hour on the hour, understand you won't actually be able to rest.
Oh, true. Well, he's gonna do that until it's time for him to get his sleep, and then he'll do it again on his watch,
Okay.
hoping
sounds
that
good.
somebody else has another way to divert wildlife from coming to us.
All right.
If we light a fire, we can always put it out when it's your watch.
Mm-hmm.
And Einor uses prestidigitation just to start a small campfire. And I can easily snuff it as long as it doesn't get out of control.
Okay.
He'll also use prestidigitation on some of the tack meat to add a little bit of spice and flavor to it, and start nomming on it and passing around flavored, enhanced trail rations.
Flavor enhanced. Would you pour a little sriracha in there or something? What are you doing?
It's prestidigitation, so I'm adding a little bit. Yeah, let's go with sriracha. Let's a little bit of that with a little bit of like milky, fatty undertones to it. So it has spice, but not so much that it's going to overwhelm or make you need to run into the woods for a couple hours.
Okay. All right then. So as you go through and you make camp, you start to bed down. You begin to pull everything together, set everything up, and you're reminded of just how brutal things are beyond the city walls. You have come face to face with what essentially amounts to a living god and walked away. Your mission still remains. However, Rolf hasn't actually told them what the mission is.
This would be an appropriate time to share with them that
If he chooses to.
Ralph would, at the campsite, now that we're in and we're break, he's like, all right, mission parameters that we have at this time is our goal is to the city of, as a player can't pronounce it either, Farendale. There is a library, a grand library there, and a map that we need to retrieve.
And here I thought I was sent on this mission to die. This sounds like it might be something perfect.
Interesting. Is there anything else in the library? Like perhaps artifacts or...
possibly, and anything we can find and potentially need, we will bring back as well.
Okay.
There was a scouting report that Petra, that scroll that you gave me, it's a scouting report of the city 3 days ago. And he goes through and it actually shares exactly what that scouting report is and the presence that was noticed and the locations that we need to be aware of, so that when we do approach it, that we are more keen to making sure that we're vigilant and understand, or looking around, making sure that presences and things of that nature. Is there any player to GM, because I don't remember the specific, was there anything else that was given to me by the commander that was specific for the mission that I'm leaving out?
Yes. What the special information that you were given was that you are taking out with you a way of fighting fire with fire. However, if that fire gets out of control, extinguish it.
And does Ralph know exactly what that is?
No, other than watch Maud carefully.
Okay. All right.
And at that, right? The last time you remember Maud, she was dead. So, food for thought. As Maud takes a drink. But as you all bed down, set your watch, you all take in what was left of the day. You hear noises, sounds, and you're unaware of whether or not you should be afraid of these noises or not, for it doesn't sound like the city. This is just what the world sounds like at night. And with that, we're going to wrap up today's session. And I would like to go around the horn and let all of our beautiful, wonderful people do some plugs, talk about today. And yeah, today was a lot. Noir, buddy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Oh boy, that one was spicy. But I got to smack the commander around, so I feel pretty good. Hey everybody, I'm Noir. You can find me all over the internet as the Noir Nigga. That's Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Every Saturday morning, you can catch me over on Critical Misses for Morning Ritual. Every Sunday, you can find me behind the scenes producing for Rivals of Waterdeep. We're back on our 12th season. Super duper excited. On Monday, you can find me over on Cobalt Press for Be Prepared, their four-shot mini-series. And then Monday night, you can find me over on Critical Misses for Kingsguard. Tuesday, Theoretically, I Sleep. Wednesday, I do a bunch of other stuff. Just follow my Twitter. You'll find everywhere I am.
I'm not 100% convinced you sleep.
Theoretically, I do. Oh, also, just really on Tuesday, be on the lookout on my Twitter because I have some exciting news that I am very excited to share with everybody.
Interesting. Well, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that one come Tuesday. All right. Maud, Ravenia, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. Lighting friends on fire?
Yet.
Yeah.
Just a small smidge.
Singe. Yeah, we'll go with that.
But you'll see me on occasion over on Ravenous Archon's channel. Our next werewolf, the Apocalypse stream is on the 22nd. And I play a Black Fury over there, and it is Wild West werewolves. You'll see me on occasion doing things for Mixedabber Studios. Like in about a month, I will be starting a Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition Phoenix's Call Season 2. If you like all the art that's on here, the wonderful Brian Patterson, D20 Monkey, did the art here. I believe commissions are still open. Like there was one slot left the last time I looked.
Yeah.
He also has a 35% off everything in his store on TeePublic.
Cool.
So get yourself a lovely shirt. He makes amazing stuff. Seriously, super good.
That's awesome. And Al, what'd you think of today, huh?
It was a good, chunky combat, beefy day. So I'm Al. You can find me on Twitter as Alice Writes or on Instagram and Twitch as Aldrich Knight. Kind of do things here and there, write some RPG stuff. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Jay.
Hi, everyone. Ralph is doing good because he survived, and everyone else did too. So this is a first for him.
Right.
So he's very happy with that. He's assessing all of the abilities, and I think it might go away or go okay, I should say. But I'm Jay, also known as Neofet3 in the socials. You can catch me there. I have a few things that are happening on Wednesdays. I'm on the Emporium for the Wayward Gamer, and we run Saltmarsh Legends there every other Wednesday. And this Wednesday will be coming up with a season. Also on Tuesdays, I run a Fraternal Twin game on MTD, Miniature Domain, and that is another Saltmarsh Legends in the same universe, about 150 years different. So a lot of spoilers got to go between them. Coming in March, I will be returning in season 2 for Star Wars Shadowport Adventures, which is Edge of the Empire actual play. And we are going to be getting back into some really, really good Star Wars stuff. And other than that, a few other things out there, but I will be at the Con of the North next weekend in Minnesota, in-person gaming for the first time in over a year. So looking excited for that. So catch me there, catch me on socials. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
And Joshua, how you feeling today?
Hey,
Playing
feeling
on
good.
vacation.
Yes. Yeah. Nope. Last day of vacation. Great way to end it. A little sad I didn't get to see if I could start a small campfire with some of those vines going on. But at least like to see everybody while he's grappled up. Like, yeah, you don't have to make that decision now. Just something to think about. How easily do things burn?
That is, I'll give it some thought. I will. I'll give it some thought. How easily do things burn?
No, it was a blast. You can follow me out on Twitter on JRalTech. I stream Phasmo. You can catch me playing Phasmophobia or other horror games with my friends on Friday nights when I'm not on vacation over on Gintu Penguin. If you go to JRalTech on Twitch, it will direct you back to Gintu Penguin because I'm good with branding. And and I'm actually just finishing up some stuff working on Geek Therapeutics. So give them a plug. So I'm working on becoming a GM for therapy. So giving them a plug to say like psychological safety and bringing people together and being inclusive is a huge thing. So, great shout out to them for providing a way that either GMs can help therapists or therapists can become trained in using games for helping to bring people together and provide therapy in a safe manner. So plug to them at geektherapeutics.com is their core website, and they have a lot of offerings. So yeah.
All right. That's awesome.
Looking forward to it.
I like that. I like the idea of gaming and therapy. That's really cool, right? And I am Kurt, the OKS DM on the planet, also known as Covenant, the Horrible Alchemist. They hate it when I say that. You can find me streaming on my own personal channel on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where I play video games. Yes, right now I'm on a huge Apex kick because Apex. But past that, I would like to give a lot of thanks and shout outs, especially to DC Lacer, who is behind the scenes running all of our tech, keeping us flowing and keeping things going and modding the crap out of our chat. DC, you are priceless and irreplaceable. So Don't ever go anywhere. Past that, I'd like to thank Team Phoenix and all the folks over at Gilding Light for giving us a great place to play, and Sirenscape for being a sponsor of the channel. Past that, if you're liking what you're seeing and you're enjoying it or whatnot, click the follow button, go join the Discord. You'll be able to find out all the other various projects that are going on. It's a great way to just meet new people and just see what all is going on behind the scenes and what have you. There is a slight note. Next week, there will not be a episode of Champions of Eclypsia. I have a commitment that I cannot get out of. And I've got to go build birdhouses and stuff.
That sounds awesome.
So, and then Jay is going to be gone. So with that, next week there will not be an episode, but the following week we will be back to our regular schedule. And everybody will be here and we'll be having a good time. And last but not least, everybody gain a level because we're milestone based. So everybody's going to gain a level for not dying on their first major encounter.
More fire.
Not for a lack of trying.
No fire. Don't make me rethink this. Anyway, that being said, friends, I'm sorry. I'm long-winded. I'm drawing it out. I hope you all have a great and wonderful Saturday. Go play your own D&D games tonight. Enjoy them. Have a great time. And we will see you all next time, friends.
Bye.
We'll see you.
Bye.